Welcome for the today's session of Introduction to Business. Hope all of you are feeling fine and healthy. Today we are going to continue with the remaining portion of course policy of the Introduction to Business. Hope all of you have started the new year with lots of happiness and joy. Today we will be discussing the very important and significant portion of the subjects, and that is joint stock company under the chapter number 4. The students, apart from the studying the sole proprietorship form of business organizations, and later on we move to the partnership form of business organizations, which has its own characteristics, specifications and discussions. Today we are in the largest form of business organizations by the name of companies. So this company is, this form of business organization is totally different from other form of business organizations, where each and every investors are going to invest under the form of companies rather than sole proprietorships and the partnerships. Depends on the advantages and disadvantages of the this form of business organizations, where it does have. So let's go into this chapters. What do you mean by company rather than the partnerships and sole proprietorships? Before to define this company, let me highlight with the sole proprietorships, as we do say that this form of business organization has been started with the one persons, where the investors, the managements and the entire aspects of this business activity is related to one persons. No involvement of the other parties in this form of business organization. But if you talk about the partnership form of business organization, it was defined in such a way where minimum of 2 persons and maximum of 20 to 25 people come together and start this activity, where it was totally depends on their inner or internal relationships based on their mutual agreement. But companies is something where it does not have some specific boundaries. There is no limitations toward joining this form of business organization. Each and everyone can join it. It does not depends on their inner or internal relationships. It does not depends on familiarization of two people. It does not depends on the cultures, or it does not depends on the religions. For example, black and white and Muslims and Christians, Afghani and other international people can join it and invest there and buy some shares and to be the shareholder of this company. Make sure that the students, under these some of the terminologies are available that we could use under this chapters or under this form of business organization. The first thing is, the one who is going to invest in this form of business organizations, we could not call as a partner or simple person, but we could call it as a shareholder. It means that the one who is going to invest in the company, that is the shareholder of the company. And under the frame of the company also, we use the shares. The terminology of share has been used because under the companies, shares are going to be issued to the market, and shares are going to be buy or purchased by the investors. These two things you have to keep in mind, that the investors under the frame of the companies are called as shareholder, the one who buy the shares, and the shares are some things which are going to be issued by the companies for the purpose of collecting fund from the public. So here we would go for the particular definition of the company. What do you mean by companies? Particularly it is known as joint stock companies, or in a briefly you could call it as a GST, or if someone says that GSCs are the companies, means that joint stock companies. Basically, the L.H. Horney, who is the scientist who has defined the company in such a way that he believes that joint stock company is a voluntary association formed by the people to carry on a certain business for the profit. Since long we were discussing about the business activity, where there are two things. The first thing is that the matter of legality should be there, and the second thing is based on the earning profit. When these two things comes together, then we could consider as a business activity. But under the companies, this thing is very important. Apart from the legality and earning profit, it is a voluntary association. So voluntary means that no boundary at all, no restrictions at all. This is called as voluntary associations. Each and every one, based on their interest, can invest money into the company and then carry on their business and be as a shareholder of the company. So make sure this one, voluntary association. Company is something voluntary association given by LHRE, but under the partnerships we do say that it is based on their internal relation, right? So here, form for the purpose of earning profit, exactly, and obviously behind each and every business or activity there is an intention of earning profit. So now, intention of earning profit with respect to the voluntary association, when it is formed by the people, is called as company. This definition has been given by LHRE. Yeah. So people contribute their capital in the form of the shares in the company. As I said before that, here the way of collecting money is always done in the form of shares. shares معنای لغویش سهمیه را میگه و سهمیه در چوکاٹ کمپانی کسی چیزی می باشد که یک کسی در داخل کمپانی چیز میکنن سرمایه گذاری میکنن، یعنی اما مقدار مبلغ پیسی را که او سرمایه گذاری میکنن او را به نام چی مسما میکنیم؟ شیرز. و حصه ایش به نام شیر مسما میکنیم و مقدار پیسیش به نام چیز مسما میکنیم، یعنی شیر هولدر. کسی هست که در کمپانی همه اندازه چی دارد؟ شیر دارد. Company work in its own name under the common sense. Dear students, company is not based on the mutual agreement or relationships. The company always operates under its own seal, or we could consider it as a stamp. کمپانی چیزی نیست که مشخصا به نام یک کسی باشه. کمپانی همیشه در زیر یک لوگوی مشخص، چه به سطح ملی باشه و چه به سطح بین المللی چی باشه، ریکگنایز و یا هم قابل شناخت تمام مردم باشد.